This started a project to document mental health in African countries that had been through crisis. And in a lot of the countries that I went to, I found that the first reaction of family members or even in institutions was to put a chain around someone's foot and chain them to a tree or to a bed or to the floor. This is a refugee camp in Puntland in Somalia. This child's mother explained to me that she could untie him and care for him well, but her other 4 children would starve. Or she could tie him and feed her whole family. And a lot of these institutions, when they don't have, can't provide any medical assistance, become places of incarceration. They become prison. And the people who ran the prison said to me that they knew this was the wrong place for them, but there was no other facility for these people. So I don't want to give the impression that there are no services for people with mental illness in Africa. But the reality is that the resources are far from enough. So the first port of call for people is to take their mentally disabled relative to a religious healer or a traditional healer. This is a hospital in Mogadishu taken over by an imam. He reads the Quran through his megaphone into their ears in order to cure them from mental illness. It's not very successful. Unfortunately, these people are sometimes very powerful people in the communities, and in some cases their treatments are very abusive. This is in the Niger Delta in Nigeria. In this compound, patients would be chained and beaten. Somehow they were supposed to help cure them. So when the traditional healer was away, this gentleman was begging me for food. And when religious leaders or traditional healers are unable to heal their patients, often the family members are abandoned. So this is a small charity in Uganda that helps children that have been abandoned by their families. And then you have government institutions, which in the Niger Delta are a real disaster. The level of corruption is such that the resources never, very rarely actually reach the people they're meant for. This child had been locked away in the cell that they reserved for the dangerously insane. This is in Somaliland. The man on the left would salute me every time I came into the compound. Crisis or conflict can also cause mental illness. So this is the support group for women who've lost their husbands 10 years ago in the conflict in Sierra Leone. When there aren't significant institutions, people have to try to find their own ways. And this is a community healing ceremony. So they come together to worship their ancestors to try to heal their wounds. One of the main problems is that these people are not allowed to advocate for themselves. And it's not that they don't have the ability, but people won't listen to them because they are mad. In Liberia. These are former child soldiers suffering chronic post-traumatic stress disorder. A lot of these young people were given drugs in order to commit horrendous atrocities when they were child soldiers, and now they take drugs to try to forget. So in countries where you don't have any adequate mental health services, people have to find their own ways to cope. And for these guys, it was taking a lot of drugs.